Audie Leon Murphy was born on June 20th, 1925, in Kingston, Texas, into a family struggling to survive during the Great Depression. As the seventh of 12 children, his childhood was marked by poverty and hardship. His father abandoned the family when Murphy was still young, leaving his mother to manage the household under extreme circumstances. When she passed away at the age of 16, Murphy was forced to take on the responsibility of raising his younger siblings. With only a fifth-grade education, he worked countless odd jobs, from farm labor to manual labor, to keep the family afloat. These early experiences shaped Murphy's resilience and instilled in him qualities of determination, responsibility, and courage. Despite the difficulties, he developed a strong sense of perseverance that would later become essential to his survival and heroism. The hardships of his youth laid the foundation for a remarkable life defined by extraordinary achievements, enlistment, and military beginnings. In 1942, at just 17 years old, Audie Murphy made the life-altering decision to enlist in the U.S. Army. Prior to this, he had been rejected by both the Navy and the Marine Corps due to his small stature and underweight frame. He stood only 5 feet 5 inches and weighed just over 110 pounds. Despite these physical limitations, Murphy's courage and tenacity were evident from the start. He quickly distinguished himself in training and gained a reputation for determination, discipline, and an unwavering sense of duty. Serving in multiple theaters of World War II, including North Africa, Italy, France, and Germany, Murphy faced intense combat conditions. His size did not hinder him. Rather, it seemed to complement his tactical intelligence and unyielding bravery. Through sheer determination, he rose to prominence as a soldier capable of extraordinary feats, earning the admiration of his peers and superiors alike. These formative experiences solidified Murphy's path toward becoming one of the most decorated soldiers in American history. Heroism on the battlefield. Audie Murphy's battlefield accomplishments were legendary, cementing his status as an American icon. Throughout World War II, he demonstrated exceptional bravery, leadership, and tactical brilliance. One of his most famous acts of valor occurred in France, where he single-handedly held off a German assault for over an hour, despite facing overwhelming odds. This extraordinary courage earned him the Medal of Honor, the nation's highest military distinction. In addition, Murphy received numerous other awards, including the Distinguished Service Cross, Silver Star, Bronze Star, and multiple Purple Hearts. His actions were not just the result of physical bravery. They reflected a deep sense of responsibility to his fellow soldiers and an unwavering commitment to duty. Murphy's battlefield heroics were widely recognized, transforming a small, unassuming young man into a symbol of resilience, courage, and patriotic devotion. He became a figure who inspired both soldiers and civilians alike, embodying the ideals of selflessness and perseverance. Returning home and facing PTSD, after the war, Audie Murphy confronted challenges of a very different kind. While he had survived some of the deadliest battles of World War II, he returned home carrying the invisible wounds of war, later identified as post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Murphy's struggles were emblematic of a generation of veterans whose psychological scars were often ignored or misunderstood. Unlike many, he spoke publicly about the emotional toll of combat, raising awareness about mental health and veterans' issues at a time when such discussions were rare. Despite these struggles, Murphy's fame as a war hero opened doors to Hollywood, where he embarked on a successful acting career. His experiences allowed him to bring authenticity and emotional depth to his roles, particularly in his portrayal of himself in the autobiographical film To Hell and Back. The combination of fame and trauma created a complex post-war life, as Murphy sought to reconcile his heroic past with the ongoing internal battles that followed him home. Hollywood stardom. Audie Murphy's transition to Hollywood was remarkable, transforming him from celebrated soldier to a beloved movie star. Over his career, he appeared in more than 40 films, many of which were westerns, a genre that perfectly suited his persona of toughness, honor, and resilience. His first major success, To Hell and Back, 1955, depicted his own wartime experiences and became a box office hit, demonstrating his ability to convey vulnerability, courage, and authenticity on screen. Beyond acting, Murphy contributed behind the scenes, co-producing films and taking active roles in shaping projects. His performances in movies such as Night Passage, 1957, and The Wild and the Innocent, 1959, solidified his position in Hollywood. Despite his fame, Murphy was known for humility and dedication, often downplaying his own talent while embracing the craft with professionalism. His Hollywood career not only extended his influence beyond the battlefield, but also allowed him to reach new audiences, sharing the lessons of courage, perseverance, and resilience in a civilian context. Personal life and relationships. Murphy's personal life, however, was more tumultuous than his professional one. His first marriage, to actress Wanda Hendricks in 1949, ended in divorce just 2 years later, largely due to the pressures of his war experiences and Hollywood demands. Only 4 days later, he married Pamela Opal Lee Archer, a former airline stewardess who provided stability and support during a challenging period. Together, they had 2 children and formed a family unit that helped Murphy manage the lingering effects of war trauma. Despite public attention and ongoing professional pressures, Murphy's family remained a grounding force, offering emotional support that allowed him to continue both his acting career and advocacy work. His marriage to Pamela demonstrated his desire for personal stability, even amid the turbulence of fame and public scrutiny. The family provided a sanctuary where he could navigate the complexities of fame, post-war struggles, and the challenges of life beyond the battlefield. Expanding influence in film. Murphy's later years in Hollywood saw him grow beyond acting into producing and collaborating with other creative minds. Working with writers and producers such as Claire Huffman and Willard W. Willingham, he helped create films that became staples of the Western genre, including Battle at Bloody Beach, 1967, and Arizona Raiders, 1965. His involvement in production demonstrated his deep understanding of storytelling, character development, and cinematic craft. Television appearances on series like Star Time and The Big Picture expanded his influence, showcasing his versatility. Murphy's dedication to his work, combined with his humility, made him a respected figure in the industry. Even as his fame grew, he remained focused on meaningful contributions rather than personal accolades. Through his films, Murphy extended his legacy, shaping American popular culture while drawing upon the courage, discipline, and integrity forged during his military service. Impact on family and legacy. For Murphy's family, the new evidence has been both devastating and revelatory. After decades of grieving under the belief that his death was accidental, they are now faced with the possibility of intentional foul play. This realization has prompted calls for a thorough public inquiry into the true circumstances of the 1971 crash. Beyond the family, Murphy's legacy is being reevaluated by historians and military scholars who must now reconcile his heroic wartime achievements with the dark complexities surrounding his death. The notion of betrayal adds a tragic dimension to a life defined by courage, service, and resilience. Murphy's story serves as a stark reminder of the personal risks he endured both on and off the battlefield, highlighting the challenges that can follow even the most celebrated heroes. a legacy of courage and controversy. Audie Murphy's life remains a compelling story of courage, determination, and the human spirit. But the circumstances of his death have cast a shadow over his legacy. His accomplishments on the battlefield, in Hollywood, and in advocacy for veterans' mental health are undeniable. Yet, the possibility of sabotage and conspiracy surrounding his death introduces a new narrative of betrayal and intrigue. Murphy's story underscores the fragility of life and the hidden dangers that can follow even the most heroic individuals. While his bravery and achievements will always be remembered, the dark truths surrounding his death remind us that even heroes are not immune to deception, manipulation, or tragedy. Audie Murphy's legacy, though complicated, continues to inspire, provoke reflection, and remind the world of the sacrifices borne by those who dedicate their lives to courage and service.